Alright. We'll see if you log on right now. I'm just getting supper ready for the girls. So getting ready to cook Kayla some flank steak and Sophia some chicken nuggets, and I'm gonna down my meal prep of cod and sweet potatoes and some green beans. But just cutting this in half right now. I'm gonna season it and throw it on. So, if you have questions about narcissistic abuse, what I do, how to help people heal from toxic relationships, feel free to drop in the chat. Can't guarantee I'll get to all of them tonight, but and don't know how long I'll be on. Could be on just for a couple minutes. Right now, I'm getting ready to put on Kayla's steak for the night. All right. We've all been. We just got back from the pool. Kayla's upstairs giving the girls a bath really quick, and I'm starting to fix some supper. And get a bottle. But leave any comments down below if you have any questions about narcissistic abuse. But I do, inside of this whole conversation, of help people heal. One of the main ways and the things we have to work on to help people heal is to heal the trauma bond. It's the piece where people are like addicted to the toxic guy. If we don't change that, then nothing's going to change. Yeah. All right. Like I said, didn't know how long this is going to be. Need help with the baby? Be right back. I had to get you out of the bath, and yeah, that didn't go as fast as what we planned. All right, your bottle's almost ready. Almost ready. All right, we got Sissy's chicken nuggets coming in just a second. We got Mama's steak cooking. I know. I know. So the trauma bond would be a place of like feeling like addicted. Like that's probably the easiest way to describe it. Like you're addicted to the toxic person. You're addicted to the narcissist. A lot of times I'll describe trauma bond. You're gonna talk to. Trauma bond is you still have the hope that they're gonna change, that they're gonna get better, that they're gonna get fixed, but they don't. Mhm. That's tight. Or you're gonna view like the piece of like cognitive dissonance. I know. Cognitive dissonance is like the aspect of like where you're not sure what to believe. Like, do you believe his words, or do you believe his actions? What do you actually believe in the moment? Because he's gonna sell you a story, right? Something that you're gonna try to believe that's not actually true. A lot of times, a piece of the trauma bond is gonna leave you stuck long term, like mentally and emotionally, being stuck with a toxic person. I know. I know. Look, look, how about that? How about them apples? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna be stubborn tonight? Saying that we like the bottle. Okay. I'll be asking my husband to sign divorce papers before October. Do you think there is a smart way to do this? Also, it was you and your videos that helped me see what I was dealing with. That's awesome. I'm glad that it's helped. So like with signing divorce papers, there's not necessarily a way that it's going to be easy. There's not an aspect of like, oh, this is an easy way to be able to do it. It's going to be a lot of times when you're going through the divorce process with a narcissist, you have to be okay with being the bad guy, and that's just what it is. Like he's going to make you want to seem and act and feel like you're the bad guy, and there's not really a way to get away from that or around that. The biggest thing is you just have to own it and be like, okay, well, if you want to view me as being the bad guy after you cheated or after you abused or after you did X, Y, and Z, that's your own opinion. You have to remember this is kind of like the whole accusation of like someone being like, you're an idiot because you have blue hair. And you're like, I don't have blue hair. So, okay, joke's on you. So, like, that's the piece is like, narcissists will want to be able to put it on you. Okay, they want to be able to convince you that it's your fault, that you're stupid, that you're the idiot. So oftentimes the trauma bond will leave people stuck. So I'm glad that you're getting out. You're asking for to sign divorce papers before October. Is that just something like you had to wait for a certain amount of time or whatever, or my wife punched me in the mouth before and said I'm the problem. Yeah, so like very narcissistic, right? Like the whole piece of like, hey, narcissists will try to make it be your fault, right? They'll do something to try to make it be your fault. Let's call my get me fired before the summer about just though somebody vain takes me to feel stuck. I didn't understand that completely. How do you know you're addicted versus just missing them? Being able to move on, being able to grow and change and develop you versus like the constant rumination, like the thought process of like, how do I get over him? What's happening next? Hey, little one. Can you put that inside of the air fryer? Because I started feeding Bella and then it just did not happen. So your nuggets. Yep, just lift it up. Perfect. All right. You see the arrows on the left-hand side? That's the right hand. Yep, left-hand side. Press the up one. Yep, press it again. Perfect. Now press the up side on the right side. Yep. And then, oh, well, we need to go down. Press down. And you go all the way down till you see just only a 5. Or a 6, actually. Do a 6. Keep going until you see only a 6. That's a 1, 6, so it's 16. Yep, keep going. Why who he called me such a miserable little person. Yeah, a lot of times. Yep, perfect. All right, now hit the start button, which is down at the. No. That's the power button. You turned it off. Let's do it all over again. All right, press the power button again. There you go. Left arrow up. Hit it twice. Left arrow. Yep, up. Twice. One more time. All right, then do the right side. Do the arrow down till you get to the 6. All right, and then do not press the power button. He called me a miserable. Like, is that a Hoover? Just because he called you such a miserable person? I'm not sure where we're going with that. Thank you for doing this. I just left mine in May of this year. It was so hard and very scary since mine was also physical. 6. All right. Press the button on the right that's lit up. Yes. There you go. High knee. You're hilarious. All right. Worth every second people help deal with this. I'm glad to hear that. How does one deal with your children being turned against you? Um, One, it kind of depends on how old they are, right? If they're older, where they have that right in one sense, like they're not obligated to communicate with you, there's a period of time where you almost have to kind of step away and just show them consistently by how you live that you're not the crazy one. Because otherwise, he's already pre-framed it, he's already confused them, he's already left them. So 11, okay. So a big piece is just going to be providing emotional space, being able to provide emotional space for them so that they can learn how to be able to grow and change and develop themselves. Pour on the left side. There you go. Good job. Because I had to rinse it out because it had dirt in it from your plant. There's dirt in it. Well, that's why I rinsed it out, goofball. My narcissist has been drawing women and making every little clay figures of them. It's not me. Why is he seeing these women, or is it fantasy? I don't know. That's kind of weird. He might be cheating on you. Like, I don't really know. I'm crazy as for him, and they haven't even convinced my mom. Yeah, so like with that, you're just gonna have to live your life consistent with for you, and you're also gonna have to get to the place where like whatever's going on, you're just focused on your growth and your development. And I know this like makes like people get so frustrated with this because they're always trying to save they're always trying to save the kids, right? Like that's a big piece. Thank you very much. They're always trying to like save the kids. So like they're trying to focus so much time, so much effort, so much attention on the kids, when in reality, when you do this, you typically lose the kids. Because when you're focused so much on the kids, you don't focus on you. So then you're around the kids, and even if you were like, even if you had the kids back in your life, you would still get triggered. You still get frustrated. So like that's the thing you have to be able to understand. All right, I gotta flip my mistake. Hang on, hang on. Success. Good job. All right. You have to wait financially, okay, to be able to get out. Makes sense. Yeah, so just make sure like you're being safe about it, like one step at a time, right? My brother gaslights me saying I am incapable of anything. So just understand that like when they're gaslighting, they're trying to be able to find something that you'll believe. You can say like, hey, he's looking for something that you're naive enough to believe, but ultimately it might be like an insecurity, right? Or a story or a belief that you have underneath the surface that we need to be able to work through. You know, like working on our hair back there. Yeah. Still married. I work full time. Sorry, there was a odd question, but I thought it was odd when I found his right. Yeah, it sounds odd. I mean, it sounds like it's just like fantasy stuff. I mean, that could be his like porn version or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes you'll have a lot of oddballs inside of this. Do you cook these to a certain temperature, or just to when you think they look done? They're getting somewhat close. What to do if you have a mom, dad, and a son who is a narcissist? A big thing is you have to set healthy boundaries. And the thing is, most narcissists aren't going to listen to them or aren't going to care about them. But you have to be able to set boundaries for you. Boundaries are not for the other person, they're for you. Okay, so inside of that, you have to be able to set boundaries. And that means you might have to limit their access to you. I know my brother is insecure, but now I have lost my confidence. Yeah, so a big piece is we have to help you build that back. And that all comes down to like the story that you're telling yourself, because we got to work on helping you actually get back to reality, get back to the facts of the situation. Otherwise, he'll make you believe anything and everything. My husband never helped with our kids, no feeding, diaper changes, no nothing. Did your positive involvement with your kids start after healing? Yes, it was after my healing. It was not involved in my kids' lives, really at all. There's a big piece. You can tempt that left one. I just flipped them. Hmm. Well, they're about cooked through. But no, I was not present and was not around, was not helpful with the kids. So like Sophia, up until Sophia was how old? Yeah. So Kayla left when she was like 2. So like pretty much up until 2, 2.5, like I was not engaged. I wasn't present. Um, It was home but not present, right? Be at work and then home, but it wasn't present. Didn't really help. So that was a big difference with this little one. She gets a different version of me. Yes, you do. Ugh. Got 3 ounces. So what should I do? I'm still in the marriage and just purchased a home, which he got in my name. Woo! Good burp. Do you want to put her in there, bouncer? There you go. There you go. Would you purchase in my name? So if it's in your name, oh, but he spent his money. I mean, if it's your name, it's like legally yours. That'd be a whole nother thing. Could they turn nice after they try to destroy you? Yeah, 100%. They'll go back and forth, be able to manipulate you, be able to control you. What to do if both mom and dad are sick and needs my help as well? So I mean, you can still help, but the biggest thing is like you have to have boundaries. Like that's the biggest thing. You asked about, what if they're toxic? You can help and still be involved. These chicken nuggets, I put them in for 6 minutes. Oh, I didn't realize these were the 8-minute nuggets. Yeah, there was one maybe on the junk counter. What did you do with the one that we brought back from the pool? So it's upstairs. Do you want me to get it? Yeah. Oh, there's one right here. It's clear. Um, tries to buy me expensive because of movie down. Yeah, I mean it's all just manipulation in that aspect. Kick him out is the problem. Is there anything to help the narcissist? He doesn't always seem unhappy. The biggest way I normally say to be able to help the narcissist is to leave. And that seems like counterproductive, but the point is like when you stay with them for such a long period of time, you don't actually help them get better. All it ends up doing is more like enabling. It's not really encouraging them to get better by still putting up with their behavior or still dealing with the same things over and over. What to do if they don't want to move out of our marital home? We're both on the leasing contract. Can't find a place as nice as this place. You might have to find a place that's not as nice as that place. Like, I don't mean to say it like that in kind of like a rude way. I just mean to be able to say it of like, hey, what's more important? Like the place being nice, or you getting your healing? What really matters to you in that regard? The piece is if you're both on the lease, unless one of you breaks the lease, there's not really a good like legal way to be able to get out of it. There might be different legalities based on where you are. Sometimes there's aspects. Can you hand me a fork? But aside of that, typically when you both are on the lease, there's not really a good way to be able to get out of it. So, say hi. Your half your head is on camera.
Where are you at? YouTube?
Yeah, it's YouTube. So far, we don't have any negative or toxic people on YouTube. A little bit earlier. The toxic people come out after 8:30. Y'all, YouTube used to be really awful. Like whenever I first started, YouTube used to be the worst. Like TikTok was the most supportive, but YouTube when I first started was the worst. I would be telling my story and I'd have people just spam me. And so like they'd be like, "You're a cheater," except they'd be like C, like send, H, like they'd send like, and so it'd just be like, and there'd be all these like trolls. We had to have moderators and all this kind of stuff to actually block people because it was so hectic. It was wild. Um, but yeah, where did I? Hello. Does this mean I am doomed to be the pariah because he is two-faced? As far as like you looking like the bad person,
No, I said just one.
oftentimes that's what the narcissist will want to make you look like and feel like you're the bad one. You have to understand is like that's his version of it. It's not actual reality. It's just his version of it. How does one know if they are a narcissist? Hannah, I would suggest that you take a look at my YouTube 9 diagnostic traits or DSM-5. It actually walks you through the 9 diagnostic traits of narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, and you have to have at least 5 to be considered diagnosed. Obviously, we're not diagnosing people, but there's also a piece of if it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, poops like a duck, swims like a duck, then it might just be a duck. But a lot of times people are get up in arms. The biggest people that get up in arms really are the narcissists. They're like, you can't diagnose me. You're like, yeah, well, I can still call you a liar because you're a liar. Still call you a cheater because you're a cheater. But yeah. I'm a physician, and honestly, never thought he was. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that I talk to that are in the psychology field that get stuck in a toxic relationship. Can I please ask if two narcissists had an emotional affair with each other, would it ever work out? I don't know. I mean, that's like two toxic people going to counterbalance and have the love relationship of a lifetime. Probably not, because typically they're still full of shit and they're still liars. But you know. Are they self-aware to know they even are? Are we talking about the narcissists? I don't know where we're going with that. A lot of narcissists are self-aware. Do most narcissists know that they are? A lot of narcissists don't know necessarily that they are a narcissist, right? But they do know that something's different or something's wrong. Okay. What's the matter? Your nuggets just finished.
Hungry?
And you have strawberries. You have
There you go.
burning hot nuggets, so don't touch the nuggets.
Okay.
But you can eat the strawberries. Do you want to go eat by Bella?
I can move her a little bit.
Don't eat that strawberry.
Why?
Because I was going to eat it. I'm just kidding. Come on. I'm going to deeper understanding how it's all connected complex trauma and how they feed the pain and childhood responses. From now, I know I need to go. Yeah. A lot of it is from different levels of trauma. There's all different kinds. Okay. Um, Sucks some days. I can't stop thinking about him. How to all I do is tell him to heal. I'm thinking of making his worse. Well, is he healing? As if he's not healing, then you might need to change it up. You what? Yeah, mom's cooking her food and dad's cooking his right now. How'd your partner best support you in being self-aware? How did you best support me in being self-aware? Dang it, they might not hear you because I'm on the headset, but just talk loud.
Are you talking about like now or?
How did your no? It says how did your partner best support you in being self-aware? How did you support my self-awareness journey?
I left at first.
Yeah, see, I don't make shit up. She's like, I left it first. Like that's really like that's like the biggest thing, guys. Like you need to understand, like if you're with a toxic relationship, the biggest way that you can help the toxic relationship is leave. Like actually focus on your growth, your development.
And now, like I just hold you accountable, and like I call you out on shit.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know what you can pick up because this is like noise canceling, so you don't pick up like everything going on. She's like, now, ooh, that's cool, like steam. Now she's like, she just holds me accountable. Like she sees I have a tendency or something that's going on. Like I have like effects. This is actually real effects. This steam, because the steam from my things that going on. They said they could hear. Okay, cool. But yeah, like the biggest thing is like she just holds me accountable. But back then there wasn't an accountability piece that I would have. A strawberry. You better get it out of there. I'm gonna eat that strawberry. I left, but he is in therapy. I'm scared to help. No, you should be scared to help because you can't. Okay? He didn't respect you. He didn't care about you, which is why he abused you. So as a result, when you think you can go back and you can help him, you're going back to someone who has no respect for you. Let him focus on himself, his growth and development, and then see about going from there. Like it needs to be like he needs to do the work himself. You can't do the work for him. You can't be a part of that journey. He has to figure out and start that journey on his own to actually have like growth and development. How'd you guys get back together? It was kind of an accident. Gayla came back to be able to get her clothes and noticed that I wasn't the same abusive asshole that I always was. And she was like, well, I'll give it a week. And then she gave it a week, and then I still wasn't.
You reached out at first and started asking how my day was. It was weird. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, is this like love bombing?
I started asking about your day, and you thought at first it was love bombing.
Yeah, but then I was, and then you asked me to come back, and I was like, okay, well, I at least committed to how long I was planning to stay because I.
Mm-hmm. Close.
And then I was like, in my mind, I didn't tell him I was gonna give it a week, but in my mind I was like, sure. And then I had already set like a limitation, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a week in my mind. And then that week he was like, fine. And then it was like 2 weeks, and he always like I knew like what the signs were, and he couldn't last longer than like really like 2 days. Like some people can last like longer than like a week or whatever. But his
What do you need?
I need water. Oh, his thing was he could only last like a week max. Like that was on like one time occasion. And so I gave it a week, then I gave it 2 weeks, and then
Oh, is
he
that
asked me
bad? I
this
couldn't
time.
last longer than a week.
Yeah.
With me being a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so like I just kept like staying, and I was like, oh, like he actually is changing. He was like, let's go to therapy, and I was like, okay, well, we went to the same like therapy place with a different therapist that we both were seeing, so they all got together and talked, so there wasn't any.
So yeah, so we had three therapists. So I had one that I talked to, one that she talked to, and then one that we both worked with. And inside of that, it was all in the same like organization. So they signed, was it like NDAs or whatever, so they could all talk to each other. So you kind of see like what's going on or what was real, what wasn't real.
And we don't recommend therapy unless
Yeah, we don't recommend like couples therapy to start off with, and especially not Christian couples therapy. Both of our initial Christian couples therapy was not helpful in our growth process. Someone said that you are a beautiful badass.
Oh, thank you.
Is it normal that he said I need it therapy because I was the problem, and once I started therapy, he does not agree? Yeah, that's normal. I don't mean that to make light of it, but yeah, that's normal. They'll normally like put it on you. Is it a real mental illness? Yeah, I think it's a real mental illness. Um, and yes, I'm a Christian. Almost every day, not every day, but almost every day we do what's called hi ho buffalo. It's where you say, what was your high? What was your good part? What was your low? What was your bad part? And the buffalo is like your silly part. So that's what Sophia's asking right now. Your husband's struggling with this? As far as like narcissism, narcissistic tendencies, have him reach out. Go to my website, rawmotivations.com. There should be a link even underneath this of like guys that I work with. I don't have a whole lot of guys that reach out, but there is guys that I work with. That did not work. No, we do not have an OnlyFans, and no, we would not do that. I think that's sick and stupid, personally. Narcissism does not run in my family. There might be tendencies, but there's not narcissism. There's not like in my parents or anything like that. What happened? When you were getting her out of the bath?
When I was getting her in the bath, she
That's why when I take her to the bath, I like carry her like this. I'm like, Simba. Like,
that's the reason why I had to take a quick shower because I was like soaked from her peeing on me. And it was all over the floor, all over me. Like, she was just laughing about it, like grooming.
mm-hmm. Because I know better. Because it happened to me once, and I was like, when I'm getting ready to put the baby in the bath, out like this, just in case. You never know when baby's gonna pee. You always gotta be careful.
No babies peeing on dad.
The- Someone just asked, "What's your channel about?" I just got here. I'm like, well, we were just talking about baby peeing, so like, yeah, good luck with this one. Um, so my channel is all about bringing awareness to narcissistic abuse. So I work with women that have been abused in narcissistic relationships, helping give them the tools and the systems to actually break free from guys that used to be like me. I also work with a few men. It's not a ton that reach out, but I also work with narcissists or guys that are abusive assholes that are liars. So there's a group of guys that I work with to try to be able to help them grow, change, and develop as well. So that's, in a nutshell, what it is. What is it? If my husband came back, what should I do as a Christian? Should I see a therapist or a doctor? No, he should definitely see therapist and doctor
I like
for sure.
yesterday's way better. This one's like a limited edition peaches and cream. It's like a Barbie flavor.
A Barbie flavor, peaches and cream.
It tastes a little bit like cream soda.
Oh, but that's pretty good. Was it cool seeing Jennifer Coolidge follow you? I thought it was. Your videos need to be shared. Um, I don't pay a ton of attention to who follows me. I'm not gonna lie. So you're the first person that told me that. I didn't know. Going through Duvalian discard was one of the most soul crushing experiences I've ever been. I should have kept but it says when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, you never see it coming. So I can understand you say, "Hey, I should have seen it," but you couldn't have known. Most people don't know about until like the end. What about women that are narcissistic? Well, I used to say I don't work with them, but one of my one-on-one clients is actually a woman that's narcissist. So I do work with them. I just don't have programs for them. I don't have like, groups that they can go into. So there's not really a whole lot of options. And in the 3 years I've been posting, I've had maybe 5 women narcissists ever reach out. I have a lot of more male narcissists that reach out because they're like, "Oh, I identify with that. I'm you. I'm that guy." Oh, she's drinking your Dr. Pepper one. How can I ever trust anyone again? Um, the answer might sound a little weird, but it doesn't have to do with trusting everyone else. It has to do with trusting yourself. It has to do with you getting to a place where you can actually trust yourself to make the decisions to trust or not to trust. Any of your programs formatted for an iPhone, or do I need a computer? We've got people that are on phones, iPads, computers. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Right there. Yeah, I don't know. Like people were posting random stuff earlier. Normally it doesn't happen. We said till after 8, but I guess not. I don't really know what's going on with some of these people. We spoke too soon. Crazy started coming out. Uh, but yeah. Anyways. Hmm. Are the dogs still outside? Hmm. And there's like weird stuff. Why do you feel guilty when wanting to leave a narcissist? No, part of it is because like, you love them and you care about them. That's okay. It's not a bad thing that you love this person. The thing is, you have to learn to be able to love yourself because in loving this person, you're putting yourself into more pain. You feel guilty a lot of times for staying too long. You feel guilty for leaving sometimes because he's already conditioned you, like not to feel that way. Yeah, that's why like alive with the whole family. Yeah, it's gonna be really random. Someone was like, I was confused about the channel because I heard there's someone in there being like, "Praise the Lord, Indra," and then I heard baby peeing, and then I was like, "What the heck?" And then like Simba. So like, yeah, when the kids are not asleep, then we don't really do a lot of these, but we need to. I was thinking earlier we need to get out the watermelon and just do a live you and me just eating watermelon, like that one couple that you followed us eating watermelon with a spoon. Then people be like, "Why are they doing that?" Hmm. Right? The Real and the Raw. It's actually the name of one of my podcasts called Real and Raw with Ben Taylor. Nice plug, honey. No, I'm just kidding. Do narcissists and empaths have an energetic connection? Like when you leave them and they think about you, can the supply feel it if they're an empath? I don't necessarily think that. I think that the narcissist a lot of times has a sixth sense or understands the person based on everything that's happened in the relationship of when to reach out. So you're like, I'm healing, and then all of a sudden you get a Hoover. That feels pretty normal to me. How do I deal with all the guilt towards my son doing that to a psychopath and narcissist into our little family? Um, Take the guilt and the frustration and channel it towards your healing, which in turn will help him heal. Is it normal that she hasn't hoovered? I saw one time and she was cold and indifferent. Why do I wish she would hoover? You probably wish that she would hoover so that you would. How do I want to say it? You probably wish that that person would hoover so that you would be able to feel more value about yourself. Like it comes down to a piece of like you have to be able to establish value in you, not in the aspect of looking for that person to hoover you. Because you think in the moment hoover means care. Hoover just means control. Hoover just means, hey, this person's naive enough for me to be able to get back with them and manipulate them. So the fact that they're not hoovering, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. It's providing you space to actually heal and grow you. Do narcissists make it a mission to hurt other people? Not necessarily always like a mission per se. A lot of times, hurting other people is just an after effect or an afterthought of them just getting what they want in the moment. Why don't more creators talk about female narcissist abuse and male survivors? I don't know. Um, One person I would suggest you follow. I don't know if he's on YouTube. I would assume he's on YouTube, but would be Genuine Attraction. Um, what's his name? Ed Baxter. He works with men that have been abused, or that have had like their wife leave him or stuff like that. So that would be the person I would recommend. I just don't work with those. Nothing against them. It's just the programs and everything that I have is geared towards the exact opposite, and it would be impossible to be able to run effectively, like 4 different groups of people. No one ever talks about how to heal from sexual abuse trauma at the hands of a narcissist. I've been out 10 years and still celibate. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about inside of that. I would say one piece, I don't know if you've considered it, would be EMDR, EMI, or Splunkna, which is spelled like Splankna. But those 3 would be modalities that would help heal the trauma without you having to go back and like relive it per se. Max stalked me without me knowing it for 20 years before we met. Wow, that's a long time. I always have to be aware now. It makes me scared still after leaving him 5 years ago. There's a piece where you like take whatever precautions you need, but then it's also like live your life and work on you so that you could handle it if he did show up. Now, I don't know what level or degree of stalking, so like I don't know. There could be a lot of other pieces, but so not every any text is a Hoover, specifically hurtful ones. Why they project offer. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a Hoover, but they're trying to be able to get a reaction, and so you're still supply. So like even if that person like said something really hurtful and you react or you respond to it, you still gave them supply. So at that point, it's like, why would he not keep coming back if he keeps getting a reaction or response from you? Changed constantly, and then she liked me, and then she didn't. Did stuff to hurt me. I was like, what that? Yeah, I mean, you've got different ones that might be like sociopath, psychopathic too, for sure. Big jump. What? Do you want more chicken? I ate all my chicken. You ate all your chicken? All 365 pieces of chicken? Well, she missed one piece because it got soda on it, so I give her that. But yes, she ate. You didn't eat your soda chicken. That's no soda. Alright, I assume you want. We don't give our kids soda. They eat probiotics. Oh my gosh. With all the content creators on the internet, and you're worried about people judging us if we give our kids soda or not. Now I'm confused. You're always confused. Do you want? Well, I know we don't give our kids soda, but it's just funny that you're like worried about that. All right, do you want a special treat? Is that what you came over? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Jump up. Let me go in. For some reason, when I talk to him or hear his voice, I have a panic attack, yet I still get depression and still love him and don't appreciate the current life and so frustrated. So, what you're experiencing is part of a trauma bond. That's what it is. Like where you're addicted to the toxic person. So it's like, hey, you don't want to see him, but you do want to see him. It's all this back and forth. And the trauma bond is this piece of like addiction. I'm trying to set it down. There you go. It's all this piece of like not being able to release and let go. And so that's the big piece that I try to work with and help people because we've seen consistently where we can actually break people free from the trauma bond. You can have two small ones, not big ones. How do I stop being lazy? Get off the couch and do something. The biggest thing is like people look for. I was just talking with a client about this the other day. Like people look for motivation to do stuff. You don't have motivation until you have momentum. You don't have momentum until you have movement. So if you want to stop being lazy and do something, you have to move. Period. That's it. What are the likes? He will leave me alone and move on. Very slim. Yeah, that's fine. Very slim. The biggest thing is like you have to grow and develop you so that you no longer is a factor in your life. It doesn't even like matter. I know it'd be better. I know it'd be better off if I left my 20-year relationship with a narcissist, but I still stay even though I'm unhappy. I don't know why. It's because you're trauma bonded, Sherry. And you're not going to be able to leave until you change the mindset. Until you change the story that you're telling yourself, you will continue to sell yourself a lie and stay with him. So like until the abuse gets bad enough, or until the person like puts you in the grave. That's typically what we'll see. Having a child with a narcissist is so hard because the dad makes things up to her child and says things like that would be an addict or such. I guess they're angry and sad because he does that to her son. Yeah, a lot of times they're going to try to be able to use the kids against you. The thing is, I know she'll try to come back, but I won't let her. Good. She made a choice, and her choice was to choose others to hurt me. I have a feeling for her, but still, don't kill your feelings. Learn to process them. That's the biggest thing. That's what I do. I'm able to process my feelings through a process called stacking. And stacking is learning how to mentally reframe, how to be able to rewire the story that you're telling yourself. Because if you don't change the story that you're telling yourself, you'll continue to think and believe something that's either not true or that only leaves you in a certain version of reality and doesn't actually let you heal, grow, or develop you. It leaves you stuck in like the mental frame. So what we need to do is help you actually break out of that. Movement, momentum, motivation. Yeah. I had one person that like left us because they didn't like that. Because I was like, well, yeah, move. There's a big piece about this. Like, if you don't create movement, you're never gonna get anywhere. Like people are like, well, I'm gonna get a. It's not like you're gonna say like, hey, I'm gonna sit on the couch until I have the motivation to go to the gym. No, you get up, and once you get up, then you put on your shoes. Once you put on your shoes, like you grab your keys. Once you grab your keys, you get in the car. Like you're creating steps. All it is a ton of little like micro choices, and this is how we have to be able to help you change mindset, thought process, like over a period of time. It has to be like step by step. If we don't build you up piece by piece, you just end up playing shoots and ladders with your life. And you don't actually heal, you don't actually grow, you don't actually develop. You just end up going waffling back and forth, which doesn't help you at all. There you go, wife chiming in. She said, and then you build discipline when you don't have the motivation. That creates the same movement that happens all the time. So you have momentum, so you have motivation. Narc free for 5 years, feels like I'm alive again. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know why I ate like these like giggle skittle things because now I like can't chew and talk at the same time. It does have a peanut. Yeah. You gonna fall asleep?
I'm just trying to finish eating.
Hi. Oh no. I got it. Thank you. How'd you used to feel as a narcissist when a supply left you before you were prepped or allowed it? Pretty bad. Like I hated it because that person was out of like control, like out of my control, right? Because that's a big piece. Narcissists want to be able to have control over you. So when the person leaves, like before you're able to, leave first, right, or like have the upper hand, then you lose control. It's a big piece about it. It's all about control. a good question. I grew up with two narcissistic parents, so my choices of partners go deep. How do I go from that? I don't want to go to therapy and talk about absolutely everything 1,000 times over. Um, I mean, I may be biased, but I would say, hey, come work with me because I don't make you talk about things 1,000 times, and we give you tools so you can actually process it and not become codependent or reliant on a therapist. And we see results faster. That's just my own personal opinion. But inside of being able to work through that, there's a story that's running. There's like an image inside your mind of what a relationship should be. Might be ingrained, might be subconscious, might be deep. But until we change that, nothing's gonna change. It's a big M&M. Ugh, that's awesome. All right. How did these get down here? Did I put this? Oh, that makes sense. No, I forgot. Um, I used to feel super anxious around people that may hint narcissism. My issue was that my previous workplace tips on how to reduce anxiety around highly narcissistic people. A lot of it comes down to like your confidence in setting boundaries and holding them, with like establishing them. You're never going to be away from not having any contact with narcissists, right? The world we live in, yeah, it's not happening. But being able to hold boundaries and know how to be able to hold boundaries is absolutely essential because you need boundaries with healthy people, you need boundaries with toxic people because boundaries don't have to do with the people, boundaries have to do with you. And so at the end of the day, you have to get to a place where you learn how to be able to have healthy boundaries for you no matter what. This is what you're going to allow. This is what you're going to tolerate. This is what you're not going to allow. This is what you're not going to tolerate. What, Cheeky? Oh, I thought you said something. What happens when a narcissistic person loses control? What do they do? I mean, you could have spiral, you could have rage. There's a lot of different things. It's not necessarily always consistent, but a lot of times there is like a rage piece. Oh, there's still more.
Come on, let's go to bed.
Night night.
Can you say good night to the people? Good night.
She's like, shut up and take me to bed.
She's like, good night.
What happens when a narcissist? Oh, I read that one. It takes a lot of courage to get out of the situation. It's possible. 100%. 100%. I would love that, but I live in Sweden, so that maybe is not possible. We work with people all over the globe. So I've got one person that is in Sweden. I've got a person in Australia, UK, like all over the place. So it doesn't really matter as far as location. We've got people all over the world inside of our programs, inside of who we work with. You can go to rawmotivations.com. Click on the one-on-one, and I'll have an opportunity for you to listen to a video and fill out an application. We can see about talking. Thank you for your time. Your words have made things click in my brain like I haven't yet. You're direct and so informative, no fluff is what I need. I look forward to working with you. Hey, we'd love to be able to work with you. You can work with me by going to rawmotivations.com, or you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Like literally, all roads lead to the same place because we're trying to be able to help as many people. Do they regret that what they do? Are they aware of it? A lot of times they're not necessarily. How do I phrase this? They're not necessarily aware in the aspect of like they don't care about the damage they cause. They're just like, let me do whatever I want to do, and it doesn't really matter. They're not really thinking about how is this going to hurt someone, how is this going to affect them. It's not really a thought or a concern in their mindset. Do you mind letting the dogs in so they can eat? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. So hopefully this helps. This has been a little random and very discombobulated compared to our normal slew of just like quick fire answers, since there's been a lot of stuff going on with kids and life, everything that's happening here. But it just gives you a little perspective. Like our house is busy and crazy and fun and wild, and at the same time, we're able to show up and live a four-dimensional life, which is what I believe it's all about inside the game of eternal expansion of what God's actually called us to do. Is more than simply be used or abused, but continue to rise. So that's a big piece of what I do and what people sign on for is they want to have not just healing, but they want to be transformed from where they are to where they actually want to go. Will they ever change? Not if they're not willing to be honest. So no nurse is going to change unless they're willing to embrace honesty. If they're not willing to be honest, nothing's ever going to change. I fled my supervisor for self-preservation. It's been 4 months. Received 3 Hoovers. How would I behave if I attend a conference that he himself is organizing? I'd be really careful. I'd have someone like with you, and I'd also like just have some really healthy boundaries. Well, absolutely, Brian, appreciate it. Man always accused me of cheating. Above 18 situations we break up, and then he says, "I know I don't cheat." Blah blah blah. Maybe. Yeah. So he's like, continue like projecting. Yeah, keep proving yourself. Yeah, he's gonna continue to project so that you have to keep trying. Is it really best to stay silent during a smear? I mean, the alternative is you go around and you try to be able to tout the line that you're not that way, or you can just live who you actually are. And the people that actually care and have brains will actually take a look and be like, oh, how this person's talking about this person doesn't match up. And you also find really quick, hey, there's a lot of people that believe the lie that probably shouldn't be your friends anyways. Hey, if you're done with that but it's not finished, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away.
I can't now.
Is there some in it? Don't spit it out. No, don't dump it out. There's a bunch in there. I'll drink it.
Can I have a little bit?
You just drink it. All right, drink a little bit, but don't throw it away. If there's a little bit left, I'll drink it. Sadly broke up with him after he threw my personal belongings in the street and threatened to rob my place. I'm glad that you broke up with him. Max never changed. He's now took my 21-year-old son, turned him completely against me, now convincing my son to get a plot scheme to harm me and my elderly mom. Yeah, a lot of times narcissists will try to be able to switch the kids around. Um, I'm getting better. He hates that. I don't give him any credit. You don't give him any credit for getting better? That's wild. Yeah, narcissists want to have all the credit. Hey, don't let her on the couch. Yeah, just don't throw it on the couch, because... Oh, okay. Try to throw it over. Alright. Alright, finish up. I'm gonna get off because we gotta go brush your teeth for night. Did you hear me? Okay. However, I miss him and I'm addicted and sad. Yeah, you miss him because of the trauma bond. The trauma bond is based off of hope, potential, cognitive dissonance. It's based on a lie. It's based on a story that you believe. It's based on an impression, an idea, a thought that you think that this person cares about you, when in reality, if we look strictly at the facts of the relationship, you realize that he doesn't. But the harsh reality is nobody wants to look at the facts. Everybody avoids them. So until we actually help you break the trauma bond, you're going to still have the rumination. You're going to still want to go back. There'll be a lot of different pieces that are still going to affect you. That's what I work with. Like, my goal is to help people break the trauma bond. So if you want to understand how I do that, you can go to rawmotivation.com/breakthrough, because that's what we do. Help people break the trauma bond. My husband was a Christian but still struggled, so I do think he's a narcissist. My husband was a Christian but still struggled, so I do think he's a narcissist. So the biggest thing is, if there's someone who's consistently abusing, then I don't believe that they're Christian. Now, maybe that's a whole other thing that we could talk about, and I'm sure people don't want to hear that. But if you have someone who's consistently abusing, consistently lying, I don't think that they're a Christian, period. Mainly because they can't claim that they've been impacted by the God of the universe and haven't been changed. Where's Willow? Get in there. So, said what I said. Some people don't like that, but end of the day, I just don't see it. Like, if this person says, hey, I'm a Christian and I've been saved or I've been changed by God, obviously not, because you're still acting like a piece of shit and abusing. So, like, that's the whole piece. Like, I just don't believe it, and I don't ascribe to that. In that aspect, I think that person is still lying to themselves and lying to everybody else. I want out of the abusive relationship, like, reach out. We'd love to be able to help you work you through that and how to actually give you the tools and the systems to move forward. Okay. I went out. Good. Have you changed? Yeah, life is completely different. My wife wouldn't be here. Like, I mean, I don't know if you were on the live earlier. I think you were. Just like interacting, talking, like everything like that. Like, she wouldn't be here if I hadn't. Right? Like, that's the only thing. Like, sometimes people look at me and they're like, well, wait a second. You're a narcissist and you changed. That means my ex can change. Only if they was willing to be honest. I wasn't willing to be honest for the longest time, which is why my wife left and why my wife stayed away. Until I actually got honest, nothing was going to change. Like, you have to understand, unless he's willing to be honest, vulnerable, and show this consistent effort, this consistent change, no matter what, and without you, nothing's going to change. Okay? He asks for my money. I'm the only one who can try to help him instill what he does. He doesn't have a job, and I give him almost 4,000 2.5 years, and I like telling him he needs to marry me. Yeah, so like, yeah, don't give him any more money. You need to get out of that. All he is using you. Tell him that the money is all gone, and then watch what happens. We had a client that she went bankrupt, right? And she told him, "Hey, like I don't have any more money." And by the time she got home from her job that she was coming home from, I think she was like a realtor, I forget. But she was coming home, and after she told him that she didn't have any money, she was on her way home. When she got home, he was already packing up his stuff. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done." All he was in it was for the money. If you loan a narcissist money, you'll never get back. That's another thing too. You gotta be really careful of. I need help. What was the information for help? You can go to rawmotivations.com. So rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. There'll be like a link on this video as well. But you can go to Raw Motivations and be able to click on the one-on-ones, and then you can fill out an application just so I can know a little bit about you and we can talk. I've tried, got caught. I'm not even supposed to be on the phone right now. Yeah, so like really got to help you like be careful or find like some space. Yeah, no, absolutely. How did your wife know when to give you another chance? She didn't. Like she came back to be able to get her clothes. Like she didn't come back to be with me. Like she came back to get her clothes, and there was a difference inside of me. And because she'd spent time away, she'd broken the trauma bond and she'd healed to the place that she could actually see and identify. Many of you think, well, maybe I should stay because maybe he's healed. You wouldn't even be able to see it even if he had healed because of the fact that you're triggered so much because you haven't healed. That's why we have to bring everything back to you. It's not about him, it's actually about you. How do you heal and grow and develop? Because even though he's toxic as all get out and he's abused and he's done so many different things, there's patterns that you have in your life that even if he magically fixed like in an instant, you would still get triggered. You'd still have different pieces that affect you. So unless we work on you, nothing else changes. And the thing you need to understand, like you are the one that can change your circumstances. You are the one that can actually change like where you are, what's going on, how you're showing up. Narcissus leaves, says he's working and not cheating. I know there's a Hoover stage because I've been no contact. Yeah. Quote the Bible, weaponize scripture. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times narcissists will weaponize scripture. So that's a big piece. All right. I got to go because we got to get the little one brushing her teeth and in bed. All right. Finish up with Will and then put her in a cage, okay? But anyways, hopefully this has helped. Would love to be able to help you all however I can. Go to rawmotivations.com. There's really two ways to be able to work with me. Either one, stepping into our challenge, which is Survivor to Thriver. It's a brand new challenge that we have that is 60-day access and 30 benchmarks that are inside of it, helping you break the trauma bond and liberate your mindset. Survivor to Thriver, that's a 60-day offer, and that's $395. Okay, and then there's also the opportunity to be able to work with me in closer proximity, being able to have 24/7 access, to be able to talk through different things, be able to help like when you're getting triggered, when you're dealing with stuff, all those things, but also get you connected with other women that are unlocking who they actually are. And that's going to rawmotivations.com. Click on the one-on-ones or go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Like either way, like being able to help you move forward. Sharia, you're on day 4 of Survivor to Thriver. I might have completely botched your name, but I just went with it. You're on day 4 of Survivor to Thriver. Is that what you're on? Awesome. If you're able, because right now I'm offering like a limited offer of where I'm doing the group calls. If you're able, that's something that I'm including with the Survivor to Thriver. So right now it's group calls Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So inside of that, like if you're able to jump on that, okay? Because that has been really helpful where I can answer questions and I can work with you to be able to help you move forward. And that's one of the offers that currently is going with Survivor to Thriver. That there is a Zoom call that I do, just a group Zoom call with anybody and everybody that's in Survivor to Thriver to help them move and just help them work through the pieces that they're struggling on. So that's Mondays at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern, and we also should have replays as well. So like, feel free to reach out or like contact support if you're like, hey, I need to see the replays. Oh, you're on the 7-day challenge. I'm sorry.
I thought you said Survivor to Thriver. Survivor to Thriver, like we've got the group calls and things like that. So, great. Keep going through Survivor to Thriver on day 4. Finish up that, and then you can graduate into Survivor to Thriver. No, 7-day challenge is like an overview and some smaller pieces. Survivor to Thriver gives you access to the app that we use, be able to learn how to stack, be able to help you reframe, rewire your mindset, and we just have a lot more time to be able to go more in depth when we're 60 days inside of the program. So there's a lot more pieces inside of that. So check that out. Anyways, I'm going to get off. If I can help in any way, just go to rawmotivations.com. We'd love to be able to help you all move forward inside your healing, your growth, your development, and inside your transformation, because that's what it's about. The growth and the development and the eternal expansion that God's called you to be more than simply use and abuse. So if I can help in any ways, go to rawmotivations.com. Have a blessed, wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.